Hey, lovers, thank you so much for tuning into the Ask Diva podcast. Now, what I'm going to do right now is get ready to broadcast on Instagram Live. So I'm getting that all set up. Thank you so much for coming back. We're talking relationships during social distancing of the COVID-19 novel coronavirus, that crisis that we're experiencing here in the United States. And of course, this is happening globally as well. So we're going to talk about relationships, but we already talked about what, some changes in exercise and patience and things that you're going to have to do on the previous podcast when we talked about being inside with someone for a long time, that you have not done that. So we're going to expand a little bit more as I'm seeing quite a bit of the conspiracy theory activist. So I'm seeing a lot of that popping up. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and add the Instagram audience in here. Now, this is what I decided to do here. So it's basically just going to be bringing you guys into the studio, because a lot of people try to get an idea of what the studio does and what it's like. Also, we may find out that I may have to turn Instagram. So we have to turn Instagram around a little bit to get a little feeling. So if I have to go over here into the chat, I will. I'm not really expecting too many people to bring some questions over, but if they do, we will take a look at it over there, especially on Facebook if that happens, right? And we'll take a look at it on Instagram. So forgive the interruptions, and we're going to try to go in and edit the unnecessary if I can before it hits YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and the other platforms that I use for this, right? So let me know if this works for you, and if this does work for you, then, let me know. But I'm just giving you an understanding of what to do here in the studio, because this is really all that I do. So, and tell me if it turns upside down on you, which I want to be able to effectively be able to do that, just to be able to grip onto the devices a little better. But so this is just a practice run when it comes to that. So, okay, so today here in the podcast, we are talking about relationships and the negative relationships that you are going to possibly have to deal with on a close basis. You guys are probably going to have to deal with a lot of negative people, concepts, opinions, and thoughts in this unexpected, this is like so many ways that I'm trying to describe what's going on right here, because there's no blueprint for what hey Max, hey Don, what's going on? Shout out to you guys and Amy for that workout. That was amazing yesterday. Definitely give us some info on how to join the one for today if you have one. I had to get back to my podcast life, you guys, because they're not used to my stuttering. But we're letting Instagram join us today, just to remind my podcast listeners that they're joining us today. So we have a little bit of that going on with the delays. And I'm sorry, I'm on the iPad, so you're not going to see the songs and things like that that are usually in the playlist, because I'm on the iPad today. But I'm just giving you an idea of how I record in the studio. Very simple process, especially when using the smartphone, iPad, and simple devices. So I saw something and I wanted to touch on that. So there, of course, are all kinds of conspiracy theories going on out there, and I understand it. I'm trying to be as understanding as I can when it comes to the conspiracy theories, because I realize that people are going to have opinions and thoughts, and favorite bloggers of theirs may come up with may share with them things, and they believe in those people and they follow those people faithfully, so they may believe that what they're being presented is actually the truth, and I get that. So I'm not here to knock your relationship with that particular blogger or person that you follow, but there are some extremes going on, and you need to use your common sense. So during this coronavirus crisis, proper name novel coronavirus COVID-19 that we're experiencing right now in the United States, there's just a lot of finger pointing. We even saw that in the press conference that just happened, which had us running late today, with the president of the United States attacking the reporters. So there's a lot of finger pointing and things like that going on, and just trying to find someone to blame. So I get it. Like, we always need to blame someone. So we tend to deflect. So just like when we were talking about Black Lives Matter, and that was a huge thing it still is a huge thing, but when it was just really, really heated, when we were dealing with the Eric Garner and Sandra Bland and Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin and a host of other, Philando Castile, Tamir Rice, host of other unexplainable, unacceptable incidents that happened with law enforcement and Black lives. So there was just a lot going on, and I get it. So the heated opinions and thoughts like that will come up, but you guys have to keep an open mind to, trusting that sometimes some things are just as they are, because the universe is always in control, and capable of making things go the way that things are to go. So we can't take that away at all, because God is more powerful than we will ever be in our minds when we try to think of, what's happening and what the reasons are behind it. But I saw this, you guys. I saw someone say, I saw someone say that the government is trying to keep African Americans from going to church and stop them from interacting with Jesus. And the government is trying to keep African Americans from having an education. That's when I believe that the buttons are being pushed too far on how this is your belief. So if that's your belief, how can the government snatch that from you? I used to study in that faith, right? I grew up in that faith. Everybody know I grew up in that faith as a child. I was born and raised into the Trinity Gospel, and I even continued on into college and studied it on a 4-year university level, right? So I understand Christian ministry after leaving religion and all of that behind. I still understand that the belief and the way that people are taught and what is expected to be followed. So you're going against what is expected to be followed when you are saying that the government is snatching your Jesus. Okay? Because the government can't snatch what's supposed to be all up in you. You full of it, and he my boyfriend, and he got me, and that ain't gonna happen, but God gonna send it, and you got all that going on. So why would you even give the government any kind of power as to being able to take it from you? Why would you do that? Why would you even be able to be led into that concept? And I think something like that was even sent by a mega church pastor that kind of had the same perspective, and it's like, yeah, no, they can't take that from you. I'm a bad bitch, so I tend to, I have bad bitch thoughts. You can't take that, whatever I believe in, from me. You can't take my joy. My middle name is Joy. It's impossible to steal that, right? That's my mother's name. But no, you can't pull that away from me. So there's no powerful entity out there that could snatch that from the diva. So I'm sorry that you guys are able to go into that. And when it comes to education, yes, your children do go to school every day, and they do, get a great deal of information submitted to them, but you guys should be filtering through the information that they give and giving them the real anyway, not just letting them come home, get on devices, go outside, hang out, and go back the next day, and not interacting with the things that they are learning and questioning them as to what they're learning, and going deeper and diving into your own thought process, so that your children are not being fed just any old thing, and you're sitting up there and allowing them to be fed any old thing. Does that make sense? So you guys have to I don't understand how you feel that the coronavirus is some attempt to take you away from education. That can't be snatched from you. You need to be able to be prepared to homeschool at any minute, regardless. That's how I know that you're not awake and you're not aware of what's going on around us. As a United States Army widow, I am constantly aware that life could change overnight. You have no idea what can happen. If bombs start dropping and all kind of things, your life wouldn't be normal at all. 9/11 was just a test of what they could come over here and do. And your life would have to turn upside down as they try to protect the land. So that could happen. Another attack could happen. They could martial law you into the home so that they could protect the land. So the coronavirus is one thing, but you need to always be in the mindset that my children may not always have the access to be able to go to school. So I need to be able to educate my children on my own. So the government isn't capable of taking an education capabilities away from your child. You know how to read, right? You know how to write, right? You know a little science, math, right? There's so much going on. If the internet and everything was to shut down, you still need to sit down and create a routine and continue to teach your children. So no, don't fall for some conspiracy theories that it's going to all be snatched from you, because they're snatching your sense of self-will. They're snatching your ability to be your self-efficacy. They're snatching all of these things away from pulling this away from your mental and making you think that you don't exist unless the government tells you yes or no. I'm a bad bitch. I don't have those kind of thoughts. Do you guys get where I'm coming from? So you need to be able to stand up and say, hold up, conspiracy theory is negative 101. Shut your blog down, dude. Or whoever it is telling you thoughts like this. Like, bruh, like say if it's still in the Christian faith and you have these thought processes. So you then say, man, my faith is based on this. I remember when I was diehard in the faith, right? And I'm going to come back and Instagram to you guys on a face-to-face. I'm going to Instagram to you guys some stories about, me growing up in the church and the type of church that I grew up in. And that's a series that we're going to have here on Instagram. And it's going to be face-to-face. The camera's going to be on me then, and I'm going to give you guys some real behind that. But I'm trying to tell you right now, when I was in the faith, there was no way that somebody could tell me that somebody could walk and take it away from me, but I walk in that concept no matter what I'm believing in. Like right now, I'm just on a spiritual basis. I'm one-on-one with God, because I know that at any time, some building and some, pastor hoeing around in the back with the secretary could be snatched from me. No, I'm just throwing shade. But I know that could always be uprooted at any time. At any time. Always expect the unexpected is how I raise my children, right? That's why they are the phenomenal adults that they are. Right? People always try to ask me, what did I do different? Just listen to the things that I tell you and begin to implement that into your homes. Expect the unexpected. And then exercise patience, because you do not have any idea what tomorrow brings. So just stay right here and today and expect the unexpected, right? I have a story to tell. When I had my grandchildren, and I was on the podcast, and I had my grandchildren over the spring break last week. And we were just phenomenal time, and just great being able to have them in Colorado from Texas, and we're just laughing and playing. And my 6-year-old granddaughter ends up, she's just sitting on the bed next to me, and she's jumping and playing with one of my teddy bears. Yes, I said just your mouse. So playing with one of my teddy bears, and she's jumping up and down, then she falls into a seizure. And of course she has medication, and this is not something that's new, but again, it wasn't expected because she hasn't had it for over a year or so. She has them like every other year, it seems. And expect the unexpected. So I'm calming my daughter down and, just doing what I do as we get her on the phone, and she's aggravated and so many the emotions are going on, and I'm staying calm. And of course, the 5 minutes, it didn't reach the 5-minute mark. So I'm doing what I was trained back, just a little bit of CPR is what we called it back in the day that I learned. And just the things that I learned. My son had a cerebral seizure when he was 3. So, that comes from when a fever gets really, really high. That's why they keep telling you to check your fever with these You have no idea how important that is. They're not going into details, but when a fever gets really high, some really bad things can happen to the body. So follow the guidelines on this COVID-19. But so he had a seizure, and the doctor taught me a lot in that moment when we went to the hospital. So that can happen. You never know. But so I had that experience of my son having a seizure when he was 3. So when my granddaughter has a seizure on Saturday, I'm ready. Expect the unexpected, right? Just you need to stay. Your mind needs to stay in the stay ready mode, right? So you stay ready. There's nothing that anyone could throw at you. The government can't uproot your life. You uprooted your damn life. With all, you're the one making this more difficult than what it is. The government can't do that. The government doesn't have that kind of power. It's just like even when you're in church, wherever it is that you do, whatever it is that you believe in, no one has the power to take you out of your shoes, not literal. Take you, hey, Jay, look at my baby sister popped out. What's going on? But the government doesn't have the power. The government coming around. Let me tell my sister real quick, you guys, because I'm sorry, I'm live on my podcast, but I have to fill her in on what happened. So people are walking around saying, the government trying to take black people and snatch them out of education. And I'm like, you idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may have to Harriet Tubman your way through. We don't know where this could take you, right? So you're going to need to be able to get your own education. Like, the government can't snatch that from you just because you can't go to school and have, I was going to say, what is it called? 3 hots and a cot. Is that what they call it? I was going to say that, but that's not what the children go through, right? But, no, but the government can't take that from you because you can't drop them off at school. And then somebody said, the government, hey, look at my cousin up in ATL. So he said, another person said, the government tried to take Jesus away from the black man. Oh, God. If this is your faith and that is what you believe, I don't do religion anymore, right? Sorry, I'm still recording here for my podcast people. But everybody on my podcast, my followers, you already know that I don't do religion. So, I'm in a spiritual mode now, and I just kind of walk with the 101. Because when you allow the concept of the church and the Bible studies and the hanging outs and the different opinions and personalities that can happen within the church, you can get knocked off of your spiritual base, right? So when you decide to go this path of the meditation and the 101 with God, you're going to get a lot of insight, and that's tend to be my most comfort zone. But I grew up in the church. I went to a church that had me give my life to Christ at 9 years old and baptized me at 9, and I became a saved kid. While people were in the Center Kids class, I was over in the Save Kids class, and it was just such division and such. Anyway, I told you guys at the beginning of this podcast that we're going to talk about that religion and what I experienced growing up on another thing, right? But yeah, you can't get yourself in some kind of fear mode following some blogger or podcaster that's telling you it's the end of how you can exist as a black man. Like I said, the diva, bad bitch. That's how they gonna take us down. I'm gonna go out as a bad strong. You ain't took nothing from me out. That's where I'm gonna go, right? This is gonna have to be an explicit, talking to the studio platform. We're gonna have to label this one under explicit. I went to the left. I always go to the left. I need to be up there with Howard Stern, because I'm one of those that have to have my own platform to say what I want to say. Jay said they worried about coronavirus. Hell, we still dealing with knucklevirus, said it's just so much going on that you guys don't let those type of people come in and make you fear, as a military widow, as a person, hey, Julius, already, right? So we've already experienced the snatching up of life that can happen, right? So when that happens to us, you tend to see things in a different way, right? So you never ever get so comfortable. If no one ever told you this, I need you guys to grasp this, right? You never get so comfortable in life that you think that things are going to continue to be the same. Not coronavirus, not anything. Don't ever get that way. You know, as a military family, when our soldiers go to war and we're at home and we're dealing with, our soldiers at war, and I came from times of just horrible things having to be told back to me by phone and video from Jonathan, and what just knowing what he was going through, and they were just trying to slaughter Americans over there. So when I know that fear, it was aggravating to see people just at the mall and at the club and chilling while our soldiers were over there dying. This is before Jonathan was killed, and so when you have to, hey, I think that's Dwayne, right? I forget your full name on there. Yeah. So you can't. So everybody gets so comfortable. Never get that comfortable, because I promise you, them soldiers are on the front line. Like right now, law enforcement, everybody, they're going to be on the front line trying to keep you safe. And even if you say, well, this ain't nothing but some lies. Well, people are dropping dead, unfortunately. And we've seen the videos of the people in the hospital. We've seen the videos of the people falling to the ground crying. They have lost their loved one. These are not actors. These are people that are experiencing death. Did you see the one from this morning that died today? He went to Disneyland a few days ago and dropped dead from wherever the virus is doing at Disneyland. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty much what the article said, that was really the only thing that he went out and publicly did. So this thing is, whether it's being used in a socialist way with the Republicans, making their way to make this thing great again, you had to have been asleep to think that wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to be coronavirus. It's whatever they could find. So Republicans were making America great again by taking whatever whatever platform came up of disaster. They didn't know if it was going to be the Black Lives Matter platform where the racist cops were coming in and slaughtering kids. They were ready to use that for the shutdown. They didn't care what it took. Now they can push in a different agenda, and it's an economic one. It's a market one. It's a rich man game being played right now. It's the survival of the fittest. But you have to always be ready for that to take place. You can't just get so comfortable in life that you forget that real crap could go down at any minute and disrupt your life from life as you know it. They put a Defense Production Act into, it's the 1950 Defense Production Act, right? The 81st Congress created this act in 1950. It's been amended several times, but it is still active. And so Trump put that into effect today. It comes with a lot. So I want you to research that, right? And then to stay at home. Monday, it was like, social distance yourselves. That was when they were like, I'm giving you a little time to think you've got some freedom. That's what they were on Monday, boo. But that was the game then. I tried to tell you guys in January, get ready. Get ready. When you saw that China dude stand up and just die on the front lines trying to tell y'all what was going on Twitter, when he took the fall, he took the Dr. Sebi fall for, so when he came and tried to tell y'all what was up, y'all should have started getting ready. I'm telling you. Right? And toilet tissue is the last thing. Your dirty ass is the last thing that you needed to be worried about. Oh my God, this is gonna have to be an explicit episode. So, but it's time for the survivors to shine indeed. So this is the thing though. You there's always so much life out there. I agree. Social media is a perk, right? I'm gonna describe social media for my listeners because they always know how I describe a good looking man, right, or a good looking chick, right? So a good looking man and a good looking chick in social media, those are perks. Perks are things that you get it, you don't. You either get Flavor Flav, you know what I'm saying, or you get Denzel, you know what I'm saying, like. It's not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? You're either going to get catch me outside, hop out there, or you're going to get a really intelligent chick. Those are perks. And this is the same for social media. So you have to be able to exist all the time, which expect the unexpected. always be ready to expect the unexpected, because you have no idea. As you guys can see, the timer starts telling me when to wrap it up, right? You have no idea when things are going to change. That's life. That's how I raise my children. Expect the unexpected. Exercise patience, because you never know. You never know. When life disrupts, it disrupts, right? So, okay, so you guys can see I'm just like comfy. I did turn off the TV because I ran late messing with the preezy of the United States, So and this is the thing. So there is life could change any moment. Weather. Have you seen the tornadoes that took place? Those people had homes with food and toilet tissue and hand sanitizer stashed, and the tornado came and flattened the entire home. Toilet tissue flying all over in the sky. Expect the unexpected. You can't control anything but today. That's it. You have the power to control today. And what you do in this day makes or break what you will be able to do tomorrow, right? Mentally, right? So, yeah. So it's just like, it's a lot that goes with this, but you guys can't get so caught up with people. They say, how do you follow the news? The media trying to brainwash you, diva. No, the media, the diva is a bad bitch. So this mind can't be brainwashed, right? So I'm not able to be brainwashed. So I just go with the flow. I listen to the media, turn on my music. You guys check out the Grown and Sexy playlist. My friend, she's being paid by Pandora now. So DJ Nice. So she's being paid by Pandora now, and she's got a Grown and Sexy playlist. I think I'll shoot it into the Insta stories, because I don't think I did that. If I did, great. If not, I'll hit you up again, girl, and throw your playlist in there. She's out of Florida and used to be with us at Fort Hood, prior soldier, and she used to model with us in the fashion shows and stuff. So always doing epic things in the entertainment industry, most deaf, in Miami. And so she's got her playlist going on Pandora. Grown and Sexy is the one that I chose, but there's a host of music playlists that she has up. So I'll shoot you that, how to follow that. For you for you podcast people, I will put it on Twitter. Miss Diva for you. MZDEEVA, the number 4YOU. Thanks, Instagram people, for stopping by. I'm not sure if I'm able to save it. If I will, it should be available for a while. Tell your friend to tell another friend to tune into the Ask Diva show. So you can find me, hashtag ASKDEEVA, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can DM me your relationship questions, and when it gets real cray-cray and you got the frying pan in your head, sis, during this social distancing, stay-at-home time, call a sister up. If our phones are still working, hit me up, and I'm going to stop you from frying pan. And this is the thing I told my friend that called me the other day, we're just kind of going through this and that. And I said, you know what? The thing is, women are trying to live in relationships. This is going to be just a quick little relationship fun to throw in. Are trying to live in relationships in a place where people don't cheat. Women, the diva, bad bitch, she don't cheat. It's a mind thing, right? But men, I don't know. It's kind of like they were born that way, and they just get to this point where they wake up one day and they're like, I ain't cheating no more. And then they just stop. You know what I'm saying? So they're wired differently. I think, I used to wild out quite a bit back in my day, and then you just wake up and you just stop. So stop making that a deal breaker. Is what I wanted to say on that. Stop making it a deal breaker. All right, that's it. We have to get out of this podcast. And I will join you guys back on Instagram a little bit. I told you I would share the playlist that I'm listening to today as I go through and clean up again, because that's all we can do is just constantly clean. And so I'm going to go through and do that and play some music, and I'll share what I'm listening to. That's it, you guys. I'm going to continue on with the podcast, but Insta. I love you guys. Love you, sis. Down there in ATX. And cousin, love you so much over there in ATL. Julius and Don, you guys are representing you and Amy up in Waco, Texas. Hey, Max Sainville. Thanks so much for stopping by, Max. All right, that's it. You guys have a good one. All right, you guys, sorry about that. So we had to end it over on Instagram. So that's it. And I appreciate you guys for coming by. That wasn't too hard, adding Instagram and then closing it out. And that wasn't too difficult also. We're going to try to do that one more time. And if it's successful and if I like how it feels with the live, diva mode, then I'll continue to do that every once in a while. I think it was very fun to be able to create in this manner. And I hope I'll be able to continue to do so. So thanks, guys, and have a phenomenal one. Tell your friend to tell another friend. We're going to keep on having this conversation while we're in this stay-at-home mode. But remember, stay at home does not mean sit on your A. So do not do that. Follow the people that are trying to get you up and moving in the house when we can't get out. Like it's snowing outside. There's a lot that we can't do when it comes to the walks and stuff. But you can, move around. That's Colorado. And then for everywhere else, if you have great weather going on, hit one of those really super open parks. Maybe not a playground, but on a hiking adventure. Especially if you have children and elderly that need to move around, try to go somewhere very light and easy with the elderly, with no one around, and make sure you're hazmat up if you take them on an outing. No, they can't go to Cousin Pookie house, and he's got 30 people hiding in the basement playing cards. No, but you can take them on a light outing somewhere really open. National parks are waiving fees, I heard. Verify that in your area. Just a ride through the park. And then when y'all park the car, they get out and walk around a little bit in the open space that has no germs. Get back in, hand sanitizer them, and take them back inside. Maybe put a mask on this trip. Come back, bring them back inside, get them all, hands washed, give them something great to hydrate with the entire time. Bring them back, hydrate again, wash their hands good, help them with their showers, into their pajamas. And then they just do that as often as you can with your elderly, right? That's it, you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a phenomenal Friday. I'm sure I'll be back really soon with the next topic. Thanks, loves.